welcome back to our house for our December update. It is good to see you, and we are ready for December.
Yes. It's going to be busy, but not with meetings.
Yeah, it's like we have kids in school or something.
Yeah. Well, as you all know, December is usually so busy with parties and concerts and all sorts of Christmassy things. We are just as busy as we would be if we had lots of meetings, but we don't have any. But that's not all that.
No, and honestly, quite normal. We're coming to you finally at the right time and schedule, at least in my personal opinion, with our praises, our progress, our partnership updates, and our prayer requests.
So, praises. November was a great ministry month and a lot of great meetings, great people, good interactions. It's all around.
A really good time.
Yeah.
Started in Northeast Ohio, ended with 2 meetings in Florida, and just a really positive time, good interaction with people. And I really felt that God was in a lot of those things. And we'll see where it leads.
Another big praise. We had our first Thanksgiving in Florida, and it truly felt like Thanksgiving. We weren't sure how that was going to go because we weren't with either one of our families, but our church family here and our friends have just kind of scooped us up and helped us feel at home and like we belonged, and it was a really good time.
It was a great time. We joked we almost had to get a waiting list of people who wanted us over for Thanksgiving. And that was such a unique thing because anywhere Mandy and I have been at, we've usually tried to be the people that have other people over. And so to be on the receiving end of it this year and people that legitimately meant it was really sweet, really special, and truly embodied the whole Thanksgiving gratefulness theme at the same time. So it was a good reminder for us.
For sure.
Our final praise is that Mandy and I get to celebrate 11 years of marriage.
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today.
At the end of this month. And so New Year's Eve, we'll be married for 11 years, and we have a trip upcoming, actually this week, that will allow us to celebrate that, but it's also our Christmas present and a bunch of other things all tied into one. And so we're going to be off the beaten path, off the circuit for a little bit, enjoying ourselves and getting in some much needed time together. So you might have heard us say that we don't have very many meetings coming up, but that does not mean we're just sitting here eating our cereal and ice cream and hoping for the best. Because God calls us to use our brains and our hearts and our faith and our actions. And so we've been reaching out to potential partners all throughout the last really couple months. We've been putting together a system that we can use through the end of January to connect with different people, also just different churches. And this is the driest time as a missionary on deputation for our scheduling to not be filled up. Like our travel schedule is just usually really light when it comes to ministry, different things like that. So we're just working on a system to fill the time that God has allotted to us. And there's still lots of time for us to work and see what we can use our gifts, our talents, our abilities for His honor and His glory right now, while we ultimately work to reach full support for our ministry at EBI. So I think God's getting ready to do something really cool. One of the things, as we conclude our progress, that Mandy and I were a part of when we were at a church plant in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, is that every year to wind down the year, we used to have our Christmas party at the time, and also kind of a what did God do this year? And I just want to let you know to really be looking ahead for our January update video, because that is going to be our 2025 year-end recap. We're going to have lots of, funny statistics. Probably not how many Mexican restaurants we ate at this year because it's actually down a lot more this year. Sure. Maybe, miles that we drove or flew and the amount of churches, and then also some serious updates about what God was doing in our hearts and our lives. And hopefully we make that a really good video for you.
Could probably add in like how many different beds we've slept in.
That's
That's
it.
it.
That one did increase. Yeah. Yep.
Partnerships. While we haven't seen an immediate increase, we've heard some whispers in the wind. We've heard some little birdies talking that there's a great possibility that our funds could increase in January by multiple.
By a good amount. We just got done saying we think God's getting ready to do something, and I think we're very close to maybe seeing some of that fruit. We're not going to see it all come in immediately, but quite honestly, the response that you all had to our last video and the terrible mathing that I did. This is why I married a math major, by the way.
And to be fair, he did not run it by me before he posted it. That's why I was a bit mad here.
There are times where I feel like I'm smart and I don't want her to feel like my assistant in all of this because we're a team. We both carry the same amount of weight, just in very different ways, right? So I was like, I can do this. Doing the video, that's my thing. I got this. And yeah,
That's okay.
but
We all make mistakes.
we all made mistakes. And I'm honest with you, it was the best received email we had all year. So keep it up. Keep replying. We love it. On top of the whole partnership thing, not only do we hear whispers in the wind from different people or maybe some churches, but here's the reality. We have over 15 churches, I think, right now that we had a great meeting at. We've had verbal agreement in that they would love to support us, but the finances in their missions account just aren't there. God is doing a good work in a lot of these churches, and right now we're just kind of on this unique end of it. And so it's been discouraging. Some of you reached out last month and said, you guys said you were tired and you actually look tired. How are you guys really doing? And we appreciate that. Thank you for caring for us. Thank you for reaching out to us. We are doing well, and there are discouraging seasons in all of this. But the one thing that holds true, whether it's in our Sunday school study that we've been doing in Numbers, whether it's in the message that God allowed me to prepare and preach to these churches,
Or the devotion that we had today in Lamentations.
or the devotion we had today, is that God is faithful. Now, Lamentations says he's faithful and his mercies are new every morning. But over and over and over again, Mandy and I have just been crystal clear seeing the faithfulness of God. So thank you for reaching out. We are doing really well. But just like in your everyday life, we do have discouraging seasons, discouraging moments. And this is just a unique thing, right? And I think we'll probably end up talking about it in a podcast at some other point here soon. That's kind of where we're at with all of that. And I just wanted to say thank you for reaching out to us.
And we're good. We really are. Yeah. We are really good. And we are so thankful for the people that God has put into our lives, especially here in Florida, to make this transition not easy, but comfortable in the sense that we haven't felt a lot of turmoil. The kids have felt really secure. We've had, people that we can reach out to that have come alongside us and helped uplift us.
It's been good when the things that we prayed for a year ago about how our lives would look at this time this year were ordained by God in thought and in our minds and in our conversations so that we prayed in those specific ways. And we've been seeing the fruit of those prayers and the fruit of the faithfulness of God in those. We're in a community where we're able to be a light. We're in a school system for our kids that they love and are thriving. We're in a new church that loves and supports missionaries and
Our kids.
our kids.
We love our kids.
It's been amazing. So seeing how God has provided and also allowed us to thrive in ways that we haven't thrived in about 4 or 5 years has been really refreshing. So now we're just really anxious to see the real support roll in and see what God really continues to do with this specific calling that he's put on our life. We do have some prayer requests. These are pretty quick and pretty general and vague, but I think you'll connect with our prayer requests.
December is busy. And so in that, we are coveting your prayers for safety as we travel multiple times this month, in just the overall health of our family as we have a lot of different events that we need to go to, and the kids have their special events that they have to go to for school and for church, that everything would just go smoothly. And then honestly, that we would also remember the true meaning for the season and be a light to those who are around us.
This is going to sound really, really shallow. If I turned this camera around and showed you what it looked like out my window, It is unlike any Christmas or December that we've ever experienced. Seeing sunshine and palm trees and celebrating Christmas, I mean, it's to the point where we got a Santa Claus flamingo that we put out in our front yard to celebrate the season. It's just odd. And one things you can pray for in all of that is we do miss our family. We do miss the areas and the people that we grew up with. Grace and Winston-Salem, we miss all of you guys. And take this encouragement that we will be in Winston-Salem seeing family and different things a little bit after Christmas, and we'll make some time for you guys. But pray for those travels because that's a long trip. And the further into deputation that we get, the scripts are getting longer.
And then with all of the busyness in December and all of the traveling that we're going to have to be doing, we're just praying for rest as well. Taking this time that we don't have any meetings and just taking that time to, one, refill our buckets with rest, making sure that we're not pushing ourselves too thin, but also doing what we can to make sure that we are being good stewards of our time and good stewards of what God has set before us as our ultimate goal.
That's pretty much more of a family update than anything. Again, January will give you a whole meat and potatoes big update on how 2025 has gone and where EBI's at and a bunch of different statistics and fun things. But we just wanted to be a little bit more casual and hopefully relatable for you today. Thank you so much for watching. It really does help if you like and subscribe right here.
And if you feel led, getting a response from you guys actually really makes our day.
Dopamine hit. Let's go.
So we would love to hear from you. And honestly, if God is doing something in your life, we would love to hear about it too. Because it's great to share what God's doing in our life, but we also like to hear what God's doing in your life as well. We love you guys.